You're listening to the Grand Army of the Republic broadcast, the voice of the Outer Rim. This next one goes out to the mutt jumpers of the 224th, slugging it out on Mimbom.
So we just finished watching the first 3 episodes of the Andor series, and I just really wanted to cover our thoughts about it. And how would you describe the first 3 episodes of the series, Luke?
Sadly enough, I've been kind of looking forward to the series. I would say that the first 3 episodes were very boring for a start of a show. You know, the first episode is supposed to pull you in to the story, you know, to get you interested, and it's exactly what the episode didn't do. And not to mention that it's obvious that what they're aiming at was a single story, like an origin story on how Andor got into the rebellion. You know, it's obvious that it's leading to that. But the thing is, it should have been in one single episode, and they could have shortened it to like 45 minutes instead of like an hour and 40 minutes.
Definitely. I think they could have packed the entire 3 episodes into one, you know, and just make it kind of shorter. Because let's be honest, like the second episode is just worthless. Like you're just waiting for everybody to do something and they're not doing anything. Like you're waiting for the police to get to the, you know, planet where he is. And then you're waiting on Andor. No, actually you're waiting on the buyer as well from the first episode. And then he shows up in the third. You're waiting on the gunships for 3 episodes. And, you know, you're waiting on a lot of things to happen, and nothing seems to be happening. And not only that, but the dialogue is also very slow. It's very down to earth. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars dialogue. And I don't know. What do you think about
dialogue? Regarding the dialogue, it doesn't have the Star Wars dialogue that we're used to from the original 6 movies. And even what Rogue One had, because it's very serious when they talk about stuff.
You know, it's missing that cheesiness to it, if you know what I mean.
It is, yes. That is exactly what it's missing. And it's kind of the light-hearted dialogue, even when they're in dangerous situations, is kind of missing. And not to mention, you know, that Imperial police officer or whatever, he at one point says shit in episode 3.
Yeah, that does not belong in Star Wars, man.
The thing is, it's funny to hear it, but overall, it's just not something that belongs there.
Yeah, it's not something a Star Wars character would say. Like, let's be honest, man. Since 1977, you haven't heard anybody say shit in Star Wars. Like,
yeah, there is no swearing, even if it's like a lighter word, you know.
Yeah.
And you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the modern culture, of the wokeness that is everywhere. Even though, thank God, Andor is not woke. Keep that in mind, guys. So far, the first 3 episodes are not woke at all, which is great.
Then again, they do.
But the thing is, I've noticed how, for example, the Star Trek franchise has really been downgraded by language like that.
Yeah.
By swearing and idiotic, let's say 21st century, 2022 language that they use in all of these things. It's disgusting. It's disgusting when they use it. It really devolves the franchise, and yeah, they said shit. It's not that big a deal when you look at it, but if it's going to go further down the road using language like that in Star Wars, I'm not liking that.
Yeah, it definitely puts the quality down of the original product, if you know what I mean.
It's like when you compare Lord of the Rings to Game of Thrones. That's like the best comparison I can think of, because the Lord of the Rings has really beautiful dialogue.
Game of Thrones, it's like that, you know, we have Lord of the Rings at home kind of deal.
Not even that. It's blatant swearing. It's disgusting. It's disgusting in comparison to The Lord of the Rings, which has some really thought out dialogue and beautiful things to say when you look at it.
Yeah, it's very inspiring.
That actually means something.
Definitely.
And Andor is really lacking in the pacing. The pacing is very slow. In the first episode, when he gets back to Ferrex after he kills the 2 guys, the reason why it's boring is he starts talking with a random someone who the audience doesn't know who that is, about some other random someones, throwing some names that he knows, you know?
Yeah.
Which the audience doesn't know. And, like, do you remember a single name of those, or know any of the characters from the first 3 episodes?
Like, the only one I know is Andor, pretty much.
That's the problem.
That is the problem, yeah.
The only reason I know the buyer's name, Luthen or whatever, is because of the Lego set.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, if you compare that to, like, let's say Rogue One, who did a beautiful job in introducing you to the characters.
It feels completely different. This is like Blade Runner,
Yeah.
not Star Wars. Like, even if they had Imperial stormtroopers instead of the police officers, it would still feel more like Cyberpunk or Blade Runner, simply because what's missing is the cheesiness of the dialogue and the lighthearted joking, or it's not even joking, but it's lighthearted talking
Yeah.
instead of this ultra serious talk.
And you know
And
what
the
else
music.
is? Yeah, you know what else is missing?
Music.
Music. Like that has been missing for a while now in Star Wars live action shows. Like if you look at it, yeah, the Mandalorian theme is recognizable, but it still doesn't kind of feel like Star Wars, if you know what I mean. And in Obi-Wan, that was just
Yeah, it was horrible,
that was
honestly.
horrible.
The music in Obi-Wan is such a waste.
You
They
know,
could have used some callbacks to, Revenge of the Sith or anything. At least something kind of similar. You know what they should have done? Something that Samuel Kim does with mixing the music somewhat, you know.
just kind of grab like a Revenge of the Sith theme, make it look kind of darker, you know? I mean, they do have people for that, let's be honest, man.
Yeah, they have all the money in the world, like
Exactly.
millions for each and every episode of everything they make, and they seem to really not want to put some Star Wars music in there. Instead, in Andor, you get this ambience. It's a constant ambience, and you know how I know that? Specifically, that there is no music in it, literally, is because when I was editing the scenes so that I could post it on YouTube, no one even noticed that the scenes were edited, despite the music being in the background. Quote unquote music. It's just ambience, like a reverb, like nothingness.
Yeah, it's like a
Just something in
constant
the back.
echo going on in the back. It's
Yeah, or some drums or something stupid and pointless, and it's not beautiful. That's the thing. Like there's nothing there. It's
you know,
empty.
it's not the quality product that we're used to, I guess.
Yeah, the thing is, we remember the good old days, and overall, we've been quite negative regarding Andor here. I really do think that the series has a lot of potential because, unlike the Mandoverse, which leads to the sequel trilogy, aka nothing, it leads to nothing. It's a pointless story. Andor at least has a point. It's leading to Rogue One, and Rogue One, which was honestly the only good live action thing that Disney has done, in my opinion at least, and hopefully Andor will be there too, leads to the original trilogy, which has a point. The story has a purpose. So this is not a lost cause, in my opinion. It has a lot of potential. I look forward to seeing what it does, and hopefully doesn't disrespect some lore and doesn't get woke. Like, that would be a deal breaker for me, definitely.
Yeah. One thing I'm
But,
also
it's
hoping
Disney.
for Andor is
Yep.
I would really love for them to kind of speed things up a bit and also to add in some music.
Yeah, but I doubt it. This is definitely the style that they're going with, sadly.
I know. And you know
One of
that's
the
that's
reasons-
kind of been
yeah.
the style for a while now. Now that I think of it, you know, when
Every single
like
live action show that they
definitely,
did was...
man. Like before they released the Kenobi series, they were like, "No, we're gonna go with a darker tone." And then when the Mandalorian came out, there was like, "Now we're gonna go with a darker tone." And it's always a darker tone. It's like, don't fucking do that.
always turns into nothing
I know,
in the end,
I know.
basically. It's always hyping up. It's basically get excited for product, then get excited for new product. That's like their motto.
I
And
know.
that's Disney's relying on fans that don't think with their brains, sadly. And
You
it's
know,
working.
That's why it sucks, man.
Thing is, there is no standard of quality anymore. It's Disney's like the empire. It's quantity over quality every time. And it shows.
Indeed.
But overall, I think that Andor has more potential than any of the live-action TV series. As you guys know, we're really suckers for the animation, for like Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and hopefully Tales of the Jedi. And it's always going to be something we prefer over the live-action TV series, which we're not really a fan of at all, I'd say. Fans of, sorry. But I think Andor has potential, but, you know, there's a lot of... They can screw up in millions of ways, sadly.
Indeed. I mean, they already screwed up with the music and the slowness of the show, but then again, that can all
Yeah,
be
it's
fixed,
still not
man.
screwed up,
Yeah,
I guess.
that can all be fixed, man. That's not a big deal.
The thing is, they're acting as if this show is going to have like 10 seasons due to how slow it is.
Yeah. You know, this
Similar
really,
like Rings of Power,
or Game
basically.
of Thrones in that matter.
Basically.
You know, it's slow, and then they just pack everything up in like 3 episodes.
Yeah, that's how it goes usually. But yeah, that would be our basic thoughts on the first 3 episodes, I guess.
Pretty much.
Overall boring, but has potential, but we'll see what happens. And maybe we have some more topics in other videos like this one we can cover.
And let's go ahead and just finish with this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.